Students, today we will continue the topic subgroup by defining the center of a group. Suppose G is a group and center of a group is defined by ZG or CG or Z and is defined as the set of all those elements of G such that Gx is equal to Xg for all X elements of G. It is the set of all those elements of G, group G, which are commutative with all elements of G. See this theorem. In this theorem, we will prove the center of ZG, center of group G is a subgroup of G. From the definition of center of group, ZG is equal to a set of all those elements of G such that Gx is equal to Xg for all elements X of G. That is the set of elements which are commutative with the elements of group G. This set is known as the center of group G. Clearly, because this set contains all the elements of G, therefore ZG is a subgroup of G. Also, Ex is equal to Xe, where E is a identity element belongs to ZG for all elements X of G. Therefore, ZG is a non-empty subset of G. Let we take two elements G1 and G2 which belongs to ZG, that is center of group G, be any two elements of this group ZG, then G1x is equal to Xg1 and G2x is equal to Xg2 from the definition of center of G. That implies Xg2 inverse is equal to G2 inverse X. Now, Xg1 G2 inverse is equal to by using associative law, this will be equal to Xg1 G2 inverse, that will be equal to G1x because Xg1 is equal to G1x due to commutativity. This can be written as equal to G1 by using associative law Xg2 inverse, and also again this will be equal to G1 Xg2 inverse X due to the property of center of group. Again this will be equal to G1 G2 inverse X. This means Xg1 G2 inverse is equal to G1 G2 inverse X for all elements of Xg1 X of G group G. This means G1 G2 inverse also belongs to ZG for all G1 G2 elements of ZG. Hence, ZG is a subgroup of G. This is the condition if A and B belongs to set G, and for all AB elements of G, if AB inverse belongs to G, this means G is a subgroup. By using this property, because G1 G2 inverse belongs to ZG for all elements G1 G2 of ZG, this means ZG is a subgroup of G. Next, if G is an abelian group, if and only if ZG is equal to G. Let us suppose first we take ZG is equal to G, that is ZG is the element is the set of all those elements of G such that Gx is equal to Xg for all X elements of G. This means this set contains all the elements of G. Therefore, ZG will be equal to G. That is Xy is equal to Yx for all element Xy of G. That is G is an abelian group because Xy is equal to Yx. Now we take G be abelian, this means Xy is equal to Yx for all elements Xy of G. Then we have to show that Zg is equal to G, because Zg is a subgroup, center of G is a subgroup of G. This means center of group G is a subset of G. Let me take an element X belongs to G, because G is an abelian group, therefore xy is equal to yx for all y element of G. That implies x belongs to Zg also, that is x belongs to center of group G. This means G is a subgroup of subset of Zg. From this expression and this expression, Zg is equal to G. Now we define normalizer of A in G. Suppose G be a group and A belongs to G be any element of this group, then subset NA, which is the set of all those elements of G such that x is equal to Ax, is called normalizer or centralizer of A in G. The normalizer of an element in group G is a subgroup of G. Also, we have to prove that Zg is a subset of Na. Let A be an element of G, then the set Na, which is equal to set of all those elements of G such that x is equal to Ax, is a normalizer of A in G. Now we have to show that N is a subgroup of G. Clearly, Na contains all the elements which belongs to G. This means Na is a subset of G. Also, Ea is equal to Ae, because E is an element of identity element of G. This means E also belongs to Na. This means Na is a non-empty subset of G. Now we take two elements x and y of Na, because Na is a normalizer. From the definition of Na, xa will be equal to Ax and Ya will be equal to Ay. From this we can write that Ay inverse is equal to y inverse A. Also, Axy inverse will be equal to, by using associative law, Axy inverse, and because Ax is equal to Xa, therefore this will be equal to Xa y inverse, and again by using associative law, Axa y inverse will be equal to Xy inverse A, that is Xy inverse A. This means Xy inverse belongs to Na. Therefore, Na is a subgroup of G. Now, for all elements of center of group G, from the definition of center of group G, Xg is equal to Gx for all elements G of G. Also, A belongs to G. This means X is equal to Ax. This means X belongs to Na for all X element of center of group G. This means X belongs to Na, and from this condition we can write that also, because X belongs to center of group and also X belongs to Na. This means center of group G is a subset of Na. Now, see this example. Let H be a subgroup of a G, of a group G, then we have to prove that the following: for any x element of G, x inverse Hx is equal to x inverse Hx for all small h element of H is a subgroup of G. We have given H be a subgroup of G. We have to prove that x inverse Hx also a subgroup of G, and order of H is equal to order of x inverse Hx if H is a finite subgroup of G, because identity element can be written as x inverse Ex. X inverse Ex will be equal to x inverse Ex is equal to x, and again x inverse x is equal to E. Therefore, E will be equal to x inverse Ex, because E belongs to H, because H is a subgroup. Therefore, this element x inverse Ex belongs to H. This means E belongs to x inverse Hx. This means x inverse Hx is a non-empty subset of G, because for all elements of type x inverse Hx belongs to x inverse Hx, where x H belongs to G and H is a subgroup of G. Therefore, and G is a group, therefore inverse of any element Hx also belongs to G, and because small h is an element of capital H, therefore x inverse Hx is a subset of G. Now we take two elements AB of x inverse Hx, then A is equal to x inverse H1x for some H1, and B will be equal to x inverse H2x for some H2 element of capital H. Now AB inverse, if we prove that AB inverse also belongs to x inverse Hx, then we can say that x inverse Hx is a subgroup of G. Now AB inverse will be equal to, by putting the value of A is equal to x inverse H1x, and B inverse will be equal to x inverse H2x whole inverse. By using the proper reversal law, this will be equal to x inverse H1x x inverse H2 inverse x. This will be equal to x inverse H1 by using associative law x inverse H2 inverse x, and this will be equal to x inverse will be equal to E identity element. This will be equal to x inverse H1 H2 inverse x. Suppose this H1 H2 inverse is equal to H3. This H1 H2 are elements of H, therefore H1 H2 inverse also belongs to capital H, and this element x inverse H3x is an element of x inverse capital Hx. This AB inverse belongs to x inverse Hx. This means x inverse Hx is a subgroup of G. Now next we will discuss what are cosets. Cosets, let H be a subgroup of G, group G, and A be an element of G, then the set HA, which contains all the elements of type HA where H belongs to capital H and A is an element of G, is called right coset of H in G, determined by A, and the set AH is equal to AH where H belongs to capital H is called left coset of H in G, determined by A. If the operation is addition, then the right coset becomes H plus A and left coset becomes A plus capital H. If E is the identity element of G, then HE and EH are right and left coset of H in G, determined by identity element E. Also HE will be equal to HE where small h belongs to capital H, and this will be equal to, because HE is equal to H set of elements of capital H. This means HE will be equal to capital H and E capital H will be equal to H. If H is subgroup of G, then H itself is a right coset as well as left coset of G in H in G, determined by identity element. When G is an abelian group, then there is no distinction between left coset and right coset, because that is left coset will be equal to right coset. AH is equal to HA, because G is a abelian group. Now we take some examples of cosets. See this example. Find the right cosets of subgroup 1 minus 1. This set is a subgroup of this group which contains 4 elements, and this subgroup contains only 2 elements, 1 minus 1, and group contains 1 minus 1 iota minus iota under multiplication. This is G, is a group under multiplication, and this is subgroup of G. The right coset of H in GR, because H contains 2 elements, 1 and minus 1, then all the elements of G will determine a different coset. The coset determined by 1 will be equal to H1, similarly by minus 1 that will be equal to H minus 1, and that is determined by iota, H iota and H minus iota. H1 will be equal to 1 1 minus 1 1. From the definition of right coset, H A will be a set of all the elements of this type such that H belongs to capital H and A belongs to G. Here 1 belongs to G, and right coset determined by 1 will be equal to 1, because H contains only 2 elements, 1 and minus 1. Therefore 1 into 1 minus 1 into 1, that will be equal to 1 minus 1 is equal to H. Similarly, right coset determined by minus 1 will be equal to H minus 1 will be equal to 1 into minus 1 minus 1 into minus 1, that is equal to minus 1 1, which is again equal to H. Now H iota will be determined by iota, a right coset, 1 into iota minus 1 into iota, that will be equal to iota minus iota, and again H minus iota is equal to 1 into minus iota minus 1 into minus iota, that will be equal to minus iota iota. These are the right cosets of subgroup of group G under multiplication. Now we discuss some properties of cosets. If H is a subgroup of G, then H is equal to H if A belongs to H, and AH is equal to H if A also belongs to H. Now first we suppose that H is equal to H. Since H is a subgroup of G and identity elements E belongs to H, because H is subgroup and identity element of G is also an identity element of H, therefore E belongs to H. Now EA belongs to HA, because E identity element belongs to capital H, that implies, because EA is equal to A, this means A belongs to HA. Also from first, because H is equal to capital H, this means A belongs to H, therefore H is equal to H implies A belongs to H. Now conversely, suppose that A is an element of capital H, then we shall prove that H is equal to capital H. Let we take any element, arbitrary element, X belongs to HA, that implies this X will be of the type small h A, where small h belongs to capital H. Because X belongs to HA, capital HA, this means HA, small h belongs to capital H. Because H is a subgroup of G, this means X belongs to H. This means X, because H is equal to HA, this means X belongs to HA. That implies H is a subset of G. Now let X is an element of capital H, also A belongs to H and H is a subgroup, and due to the property of subgroup, X A inverse also belongs to H, that is X A inverse A also belongs to HA. By using associative law, x A inverse A belongs to HA, and A inverse A will be equal to E. X belongs to HA. This means x belongs to capital HA. Therefore, any element which belongs to capital H also belongs to capital HA. That is right coset of A determined by A in H. This means subgroup H is a subset of right coset of A in H. From the second equation and our third equation, we have capital H is equal to HA. Now, second property, if H is equal to HB, H is equal to HB if and only if AB inverse belongs to H, and AH is equal to BH if and only if A inverse B belongs to H. We prove that H is equal to HB if and only if AB inverse belongs to H. First we suppose that H is equal to HB, because H is a subgroup of G, so identity elements also belongs to H, and identity element of E into A belongs to HA, that is A belongs to HA. Any element, because HA is equal to HB, therefore any element which belongs to HA also belongs to HB, because HA is equal to HB. Therefore, H will be of the type H small b for some H small h in capital H. Now, AB inverse will be equal to, because A is equal to HB, HBB inverse, HBB inverse, but BB inverse is equal to identity element, HE will be equal to an element of capital H. Therefore, AB inverse belongs to H. Now, if we assume that AB inverse belongs to capital H, then we shall prove that H is equal to HB, because AB inverse belongs to capital H, so AB inverse is equal to H of for some H in subgroup G H. Now, AB inverse B will be equal to of the type HB. By using associative law, A B inverse B will be equal to HB. This is equal to identity element, therefore A is equal to HB and A is equal to HB. Therefore, H is equal to HB, because A is equal to HB. This will be equal to, by using associative law, HB, and H is equal to capital HB. Therefore, H is equal to HB some element H in H. So, H is equal to H. Next property, third property, any two right or left cosets are either a disjoint or identical. Let H be a subgroup of group G and HA and HB be two right cosets of H and G, so that AB belongs to G. Now we shall prove that either HA is equal to HB or their intersection is equal to phi. If their intersection is phi, then nothing to prove, because we have to prove that either cosets are disjoint or identical. If their intersection is phi, this means these two right cosets are disjoint. Now, let us suppose that HA intersection HB, that is any two right cosets are not mutually disjoint, that is their intersection not equal to phi. In this case, we will prove that H is equal to HB, because intersection of HA and HB is not equal to phi. Therefore, there is at least some element X which also belongs to HA intersection HB. This means X is a common element of HA and HB. X belongs to HA, also X belongs to HB. Therefore, X will of the type H1A for some H1 in capital H, and X will be equal to H2B for some H2 in capital H. Because X is equal to H1A and also X is equal to H2B, this means H1A will be equal to H2B. that implies H inverse H1 inverse H1A is equal to H1 inverse H2B. By using associative law, we have this expression H1 inverse H1A will be H1, this is equal to identity element E, and suppose this is equal to H3, an element of capital H. This means A will be of the type H3B. That implies HA will be equal to, by putting the value of A, H3B, by using associative law, H3B, this is equal to H, this means H is equal to HB. That is, HA and HB right cosets are identical. That is, if HA and HB are not mutually disjoint, then they will be identical. Hence, either any two right cosets are mutually disjoint or they are identical. Now, next property, the group G is equal to the union of all right cosets of H in G. That is, if we take union of all the right cosets of H in G, then this will be equal to G. Let E, A, B, C be all the elements of G. Therefore, H is equal to H, HA, HB, HC are all right cosets of H in G. We shall prove that G will be equal to a union of all these right cosets. Let X be an element of G, and Hx is a right coset of H in G. Also, because H is a subgroup of G, so identity element of G is also an identity element of H. That is, Ex also belongs to Hx, right coset of X in G. Ex is equal to X, that implies X belongs to Hx. Because X belongs to Hx, this means X belongs to union of all these right cosets. This means because X is an element of G, this means G is a subgroup of this union. Conversely, let us take H A be a right coset of H in G, where A is an element of G. Suppose X belongs to H, therefore X will be equal to HA for some H in capital H, subgroup H. Because H belongs to H and H also belongs to G, because H is subgroup of G, and also A belongs to G, this means HA also belongs to G. Because H is equal to X, this means X belongs to G. X belongs to HA means X belongs to G, this means H is a subgroup of G. Similarly, HB belongs to G, similarly HC belongs to G, this means all union of all the right cosets belongs a subset of G. Also, in first equation we have proved that G is a subgroup of all union of all the right cosets, and in second, union of all the right cosets is a subgroup subset of G. Therefore, from first and second equation we have G is equal to H union HA, HB union HC. Thank you, student. In next video we will continue with the properties of cosets. Thank you.